Well, she says her books are like Appalachian quilts. She takes brightly colored scraps of legends, ballads, fragments of rural life and local tragedy, and then pieces them together into a complex whole that tells not only a story, but a deeper truth about the culture of the Mountain South. And we are talking about New York Times best-selling author Sharyn McCrumb. She is best known for her Appalachian Ballad novels, the latest of which was just released last month. It is called Prayers the Devil Answers. Sharyn is in the area for a special fundraiser. She joins us along with Kim Mullins with the Inn at Wise, and it is great to have both of you with us.
Thank you.
A lot of fun. And Sharyn, we were talking before the show, and you have a lot of ties to this area. Grandparents live in Irwin, and a lot of your stories are sort of from this area.
Oh, yes. Yes, the Over Mountain Men was in Kings Mountain, and they came from this area. And the Rosewood Casket is Daniel Boone, and Roan Mountain, and yes. There's a play right now going on, in fact, in Burnsville, just over the mountain, about Frankie Silver, the first woman hanged for murder in the state of North Carolina. Wow. That will run until next weekend.
Next weekend. And we were talking about your newest book that you released last month, and sort of has kind of hits on that same thing with a hanging, and yes, talking about a female who kind of gets into this role as sheriff.
Yes, it's a true story. It's the last public hanging in the United States. A woman was appointed sheriff after her husband, who was the sheriff, died. And they just gave her the job so that she could support her family because there was no insurance and no pension. So they gave her the job thinking she can answer the phone. But then a murder was committed in the county, and in that time and place, the executions were carried out by the sheriff in person, in public. So here's a housewife who has suddenly got to hang someone in front of 10,000 people.
And this is her story, and you sort of really get into that emotion.
Yes, can you do it?
Yeah.
You know, how badly do you want to pay the rent and feed your children? Mm-hmm. And she really is caught between her responsibility to her family and that moral obligation.
And this takes place back in 1936.
1936.
And of course, over the years, you have won so many awards, incredible awards for your work, and a lot of history in your work as well.
Yes. The history and culture of Appalachia is something that I think we need to get out to the rest of the world. Every time I cross the Mississippi, I have to explain that Deliverance was not a documentary. So I'll be in Anchorage, Alaska in about 2 weeks explaining mountain culture there, because I may be the only chance that they get to hear it firsthand instead of from sitcoms.
That is great. So sharing our history and our heritage, and what an awesome opportunity. You've sort of brought her in, and you're with the Inn at Wise, beautiful place, and you guys have a special evening with Sharyn.
We do. Thursday night at 7 o'clock, we're hosting her, and we're honored to have Sharyn here. New York Times best-selling author. It doesn't get better than that. She's good. We're going to have dinner. She's going to talk. Everybody there will get a copy of the book. And this is one of the first in a series that we want to do with authors and artists. We have a wonderful art curator, Teresa Robinette, that has grown this to magnificent heights, and we're just honored to be able to do this.
And I understand too, some of the money that comes in from the ticket prices will go to the library.
We'll go to the local library. And the other thing we just told Sharyn, the book Devil Amongst the Lawyers takes place in Wise County. And Henry, one of the main characters, stayed at the inn during this time. He stayed in room 337, which we now have dedicated to that. It is now Henry's room. We will have a plaque to present Thursday, and we'll have it posted in there so people know they're staying in Henry's room.
That is really cool. And Sharyn, you said too, when you're reading your books, you're going to see a lot of that stuff. A lot of these stories take place in and around our area.
Yes, when people come to this event at the Wise Inn, they can move into the book.
How nice is that? And that's just cool when you're reading about something and you know that area or that particular family. Well, that's exciting, and we are certainly glad that you are here, and we thank you for coming on the show and taking the time out. Good to have you.
Thank you.
Give everybody the information. Tickets are available for this event. It's going to be quite a night. It is happening at the Inn at Wise, and for more information, you can call that number right there on your screen. All of this taking place this Thursday night. Dinner with Sharyn McCrumb.